Hello, welcome to another edition of English Vlogs. And today brings us to a journey to the outskirts of Jakarta, to a very historical place on the outskirts. Here we are, traveling at a rate of knots to get there, but this historical place is a place of 7 heroes of Indonesia who were kidnapped and killed and thrown into a disused well. Their bodies were recovered a couple of days later by the military chief at the time, Sukarno, and I find this a very fascinating story, and I've recently just learnt about it, and here we are driving in South Jakarta. There's the monorail there, always never fails to amaze me, this beautiful city. Anyway, back to where we're on our way to now. Lubang Baya, which translates to crocodile pit, and I'm going to do my best to tell the story of what happened on the outskirts there, in this crocodile pit, this disused well. When did we go there? So it's kind of like dark tourism, but it's a grim story, but I'm going to, try to make it, present it in the best way I can. So I was fascinated by this tale of these 7 generals, then to become heroes of the country. It's an important part of the history of this amazing country, and I'm learning about it myself as well as I go along, so please excuse me, as in the video I'm a bit maybe a bit slow on explaining stuff, and spoiler, of course I'm reading lots of it from the internet, because I'm a bit confused by the story as well, so I do apologise in advance if I seem confused. And there are a couple of different sides of the story. This is only the official line of the tale of what happened here. We all know that there are all sides of histories, so we're going through. We're very close. We actually got lost on the way here. We went to the wrong entrance, but I thought it was quite interesting. All these sort of kampung houses, as they call them here in Jakarta in Indonesia. So all these, I think Bule, like myself, quite enjoys these areas. But for the locals, it's a bit of a nightmare. There's Rotio right there. Oh, there's Alpha Midi. Everybody needs to pop in there from time to time. Very handy store. So soon we will be at the Crocodile pit, the place known as Lubang Baya. And it's important for me. This is part of my journey, learning also about the history. Ancient history is important, but also modern history now, like this one today, is quite recent, really. 1965. Just at the end of the first president's time. He was president for a long time, so nobody will really know what actually happened, but we have a good idea, and I'm here to try to make the best of the story as I can. For myself and for this video.
Beli gratisnya di mana? Atau masuk aja di sana?
Masuk dulu kan di sana.
What they call it? The September the 30
30 September.
movement. Yeah. 30th September movement. Gerakan 30
S
GS GT 30S
PKI.
Gestapo. Yeah.
Sekian gratis tiket.
How much is that in rupiah?
25.000. Kasih Pak. Ya.
Oh, 23,000 25,000 rupees. Oh yeah, for the three of us, about £1.5. Got our tickets here. Sticker, Monument Pancasila.
Yeah.
The sticker for what? Mobile?
Yeah, you can put the mobile,
Put
but
on
you
the
have
car.
to ask address.
No, I can put it on the car in UK.
Oh, okay.
Tickets to get into museum.
Kak, Monumen Pancasila Sakti.
You get a little booklet. There's Garuda there, and there's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 army leaders that were killed on October the 1st, 1965. So we're going back in time. Very historical, dark time in Indonesia's history. Which way, yeah?
Actually, can go with the car.
Up that way?
Ya, di. Pak, monumennya mana? Pak, monumennya mana?
Bu di dalam aja.
Sini.
Aja situ tuh.
Oh, oke. Kasih ya.
Iya.
Kasih.
Iya.
Oh ya, ada sini.
Visitors route. So this was a army base just on the outskirts of the center of Jakarta, and you have this country that's been Indonesia was, imagine such a big country, and the president at one point. Hello, what's your name? My name is
Cipli.
Kipli. Kipli. Nice to meet you. Your name is? Huh? Resti. Nice to meet you, Resti.
Yes.
Nice to meet you guys.
Boleh.
Anyway, what was I talking about? Indonesia when it was founded, the hard job of the president, because he wanted to be an independent country, independent from other superpowers. Certainly when there was problems with hunger problems, and United States, US aid wanted to send some food, he refused, but also he had to keep more socialist leaning powers, keep them happy, but also keep them at bay. So very difficult for the first president of this country, which is what led to these events, for this attempted coup. A lot of people around. Just visited this site. There's a load of dioramas in the museum. Tell the official story from since these events happened in 1965. So bearing in mind the difficult time that President Sukarno, the first president of this country, would have had, just keeping the country stable, like I say, not wanting to be too much supported by the US, not wanting to go communist, but being like quite socialist, keeping the socialists happy. Very tricky. And then he was getting towards the end of his presidency, so this is 1965, so 1945, so a good 20 years, so becoming older, and so maybe the left leaning, the more socialist people in power in his government, and the actual socialists themselves were thinking they had a chance to make a coup and take over the power, take the power. And Sukarno also created a fifth army of Indonesia at the time, consisting of peasants and workers. So this would have made the people in power not wanting to go down this socialist route. There's also the Young People's Party, the party of the communist Indonesia. So the group called the September the 30th movement came here, where a load of the leaders, military leaders, were. So in an attempt to curtail the right-wing military's increasing power, the PKI, the PK, and the left-wing military formed a number of peasants and other mass organizations. So this is like the Fifth Army of Indonesia. And at around 7:15 on October the 1st, 7 detachments of troops in trucks and buses, dispatched by Lieutenant Colonel Untung Sayamsuri, commander of the regiment, the Presidential Guards, left the base in East Jakarta, just south of Jakarta, to kidnap 7 generals. So they left the movement's base in South Jakarta around 3 in the morning to kidnap 7 generals of the army staff. 3 of the intended victims, Major General Haryono, Brigadier General Panjatayan, were killed in their homes. So they wanted to kidnap and kill these generals, and along the way civilians got attacked as well. So Nasution's, one of the general's 5-year-old daughter, Ada Irma Suryana Nasution, was shot by the assault group and died on the 6th of October. Police Chief Brigadier Karel Sansuabuta Boon, was shot and killed by the kidnapping group. A final victim was Albert Nayaburu, General Panjatayan's nephew, who was killed during the raid on the general's home. The generals and the bodies of their dead colleagues were taken to a place known as Lubang Baya, which is here. And those that were still alive were shot. The generals and the bodies of their dead colleagues were brought here, yeah. And the bodies of the victims were then thrown down a disused well near the base. And I think, guys, this is the well where the bodies were thrown down. So just killed and tossed away. And remember, this was done in their minds to so they could start a coup for maybe a different kind of Indonesia. Thrown down this well. No. And later this same morning, about 2,000 troops occupied what is now the Freedom Square, where the National Monas is, down in central Jakarta. So you can imagine this very, very dark time in Indonesia's history, and which direction were they going to go in. So there were all these troops in central Jakarta, and they were claiming they were protecting Sukarno and trying to avoid a kudeta. At 5 o'clock that morning, the commander of the army's strategic reserve, the Kostrad, Suharto, was woken by his neighbour and told of the disappearances of the generals, the kidnapping and the shootings at their home. He went to his headquarters and tried to contact other senior officers. He managed to contact the commanders of the Navy and the National Police, but he was unable to contact the Air Force. They say because of poor planning, it is reported that the coup leaders had failed to provide provisions for the troops in Lapangan Freedom Square, where they were guarding the president. Over the course of the afternoon, Suharto persuaded both battalions to give up without a fight. First, the Brawijaya battalion, who came over to the headquarters, then the Diponegoro troops, which withdrew to Halim in Bogor. The president at the time, he actually went to another palace in Bogor, Sukarno, and by 7 p.m. Suharto was in control of the installations previously held by the 30th of September forces, so the Tiga Sepuluh September movement. So it's a bit of a complicated and confusing time, but nevertheless it's a fascinating time, important time in Indonesia's history, that's for sure. Most of the troops fled, and after a minor battle in the early hours of the 2nd of October, the army regained control of Alim, Bogor. Aidit flew to Yogyakarta before other soldiers arrived. At 7 o'clock in the morning the next day, was broadcasted on the radio that troops from Central Java took control of the 7 battalions and other units of the 30th of September movement. So Suharto and his associates immediately blamed PK, the Communist Party of Indonesia, as the masterminds of the 30th of September movement. And the army swept through the countryside and were helped by locals in killing suspected communists all throughout Indonesia, from Jakarta, even in Bali, and up in Aceh. If you were suspected of being a communist, basically you were killed. So between 80,000, the number is between 78,000 to 1 million people were killed during the following 10 years. So a very uncomfortable time for the country. Anyway, here we are at the Pancasila monument, and you've got these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 generals that were kidnapped and killed and thrown into the pit down here. So the president, Sukarno, days later ordered, after these generals were thrown down this pit here, this well, he ordered the bodies to be recovered, a special operation to recover the bodies, and then they were declared heroes of Indonesia. Okay, let's go and have a look at the nearby this was a command post, yeah? This house was used by the rebels to kidnap. Oh, so they planned the kidnapping in here, right? An old bed in the corner. The bamboo walls, yeah? Yeah. Oh, what's in there? Some films or something? This loosely translates as introspective. Oh. We have to take great care that the events that happen here don't happen again. Communist Party. Planning their kidnapping. Oh, the actual kidnapping. The generals. No, just to give you a general idea, sort of bring it to life. Yeah, all the generals. Yeah. So this subject was really taboo in Indonesia. You couldn't really talk about this, right? From when it happened.
So go to the museum then, yeah?
And then all that time where the mass killings of people who are suspected communists. Okay, so we're going to head to the museum. Yeah. Also, I think it's important for me to tell people that when after this happened, so Sukarno was still president till 1970, 69, but
Arrest in
he was sort of like protected, so he's kind of in custody. So the leader of the army, Suharto, he became in charge soon after, sort of in charge of the country, like, and then he took official presidency to check the year on that. But yeah, and also I want to add, there's been many films made about this, isn't there? And there's GIE, is it called GIE?
30
GIE, 30 PKI, and this film was shown on that date on national television, right?
Yeah,
every year. And also about 97% of school children
No, about that.
no, well, they've seen the film in school. So all Indonesians have got to learn Suharto's side of this story, which is quite amazing course of events. But yeah, I can't help thinking about how difficult it would have been for the first president of Indonesia to keep the country independent, but not go to socialism and not go too much dependent on America. So it's very fascinating. So now we're going to head to the museum where there are a lot of dioramas. Oh, this is one of the jeeps that was used to bring Sukarno in or something, from Central or from Bogor. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at the story of this jeep. Toyota Land Cruiser. Yeah, Suharto. Oh, so this was for the leader of the army. So this was used to ferry the leader of the army at the time, Suharto, around. Yeah, I saw that one. So there's this Toyota. Oh, a 64 Jeep, registered to the army.
You write in English?
Yeah, involved in the use of the Suharto had command over the institution, involved with the use of the car when he assigned the task of suppressing the movement. Okay, so he's used this Jeep. And this one, what's this one? Classic sedan here, 98. What's that car? Oh, it's Oldsmobile. Man, 98 Oldsmobile's like wow. To reference Mr. Carl Ridenhour. Wow, look at that Oldsmobile. And what was that used for then? Doesn't really tell you. Okay, but there you go. Classic 98 Oldsmobile. American car. Yeah.
We all and family, we're talking about they make people, but we cannot angry to them
Right.
because God say we have to.
Forgive or something. So there's many sides of this story, isn't there? And this is the official story. You know that Suharto came, the leader of the army, and caught the people responsible for the killings, and then made made the generals who were killed national heroes of this country in which they are today. And I think this place was built when 1981. Anyway, this is the PKI Communist Museum of the Pengyantan PKI Museum of the Communists. What's that? Oh, thank you. Little map of the site. Huh? Cool in here? Get ready to get to mask up. Buka Maska. Wear my mask. They have these in the Monas, the national monument. Little dioramas, just telling you the story. Yeah, I've got loads of photos for the Monas, but I didn't do a video. Okay, so this is a typical case of somebody being accused of being a communist, shot, just tossed into the river, over the bridge, tossed into the river and left. Oh, so he basically criticised the government and they shot him. I mean, they're very good, these dioramas, as they call them. They just show, it's very graphic. It's showing you that, all around the country, scenes like this were going on. So yeah, this part of the museum is all the, what do you call these things again? Dioramas. Just shows all the fights that the Indonesian Communist Party had with the government, killing the police. All kinds of things that they were doing to disrupt the Indonesian government. Jakarta unrest in 1948 intentionally created a situation of disorder in the city of Solo. Well, you get some good food from Solo now, but this was the region was strategic because it was close to Yogyakarta. And the commander, they murdered Sukarno, commander of one of the parts of the army. That's what I like about these things. They're very graphic. Bearing in mind, this is 17 years before these killings of the 7 generals. They're trying to create unrest in the community. Killing an army leader. Creating this contentious atmosphere amongst the community on a night where the people were celebrating Indonesia's independence. And communism was definitely bubbling over steadily throughout this whole region of Southeast Asia. So, this is why I say very tricky time for the first president, Sukarno. Very, very difficult time for him. Yeah? In my opinion. of course. Quite cool in here.
Sukarno.
Oh yeah, it was opened in, did it say, 1992 by Suharto himself, the president, the army leader that became the president of this country. And they had a great time of growth under President Suharto, right? The oil prices were creating lots of wealth in Indonesia, until all the way up until the recession of the 90s. There's very good economic growth in this country up until then. So there it is, the Communist Museum.
That is, you know, Pancasila in the base of the country, right? You know Pancasila, right? The base of the country.
Sorry, no, I'm not really familiar. Teach me, tell me. Pancasila is the base of the country, what? No? Pancasila. Pancasila of Indonesia. Sort of like the 5 principles made from 2 words. What is the Pancasila of Indonesia? Pancha and Sila. It's the 5 principles of Indonesia. Belief in the only one God, a just and civilized humanity, unity of Indonesia, and democracy guided by the inner wisdom and unanimity arising out of deliberations among reps. Also social justice for the whole people of Indonesia. So this is the Museum of Pancasila. Oh, this is talking about the rebellion of the G30S speaker, the communists. Yeah. Naming all the generals killed and the other victims. Is this the national anthem of Indonesia?
That is how the Pancasila come.
Yeah, all heroes of Indonesia. Yeah.
That nearby
This museum. Oh yeah.
That. Maybe inside there. Can you go from here?
Yeah.
That is sleepy, very sleepy.
Very slippery if you had a wheelchair. Come up here. Oh, the film of G30.
Oh. And that
Rebellion.
That is the
Clothing and traces of blood.
oh.
Look at that.
Go then.
Yeah. Oh, clothes of one of the generals that died. Oh, this guy. Blood, a bloody scarf. Is this dark tourism? I guess it is, isn't it? Spider-Man. Hi, Jen. That's Spider-Man. He looks a young guy, doesn't he? All his personal belongings. Kept clothes. Sukarno was the leader of the army at the time. Came and oversaw to retrieve all their bodies from the wells here. The bike. This guy's bike. Okay, so we're going to have a look at the film. Yeah. Oh, no history, no future. Yeah, that's true. No history, no future. In here? This one, I think, yeah? Good film.
Watching the movie.
I think. If it's on. Oh, it's nice. A bit of AC in here. Oh, they're not showing a film today. And I've got a picture of Widodo up there. And
that is the
who's this?
Vice
Oh,
President.
the Vice President of now.
Oh, now, yeah. I think
Just at Maruf Amin. Let's just have a look what this is. Oh, a nice sort of mural of sort of like oh, it looks like Sukarno. Look at the history of what was going on at the time. These are the generals that were killed up there. Or is that a young Sukarno? I can't tell. Okay. This is where they'd be showing films anyway. Not today. General Sukarno. He then became the president. Just after the incident. Or pulling the bodies from the pit. So Sukarno oversaw the operation. Make sure the bodies were retrieved. Okay, a little photograph. Oh, very macabre. Definitely dark tourism. Oh. Sukarno being interviewed. One of the tanks there. Yeah, it was Sukarno came and oversaw when they pulled the bodies out of the pits, love. Photos of Sukarno there at the time. It was major.
Where are we coming from?
Yeah, we'll come down here, I think. Down here, right?
No.
So if you're interested in Indonesia, and certainly the history of Indonesia, I definitely recommend this place to come and have a look. The historic part, especially if you're in Jakarta. It's just on the outskirts of Jakarta.
At the time the communists coming to Asian, like
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Communism was,
coming.
you know, spreading through Asia at the time.
Yeah.
Most definitely. So it was. Yeah, definitely recommend coming to see this monument and the little museum. Well worth an hour.
They have some.
You can get some. Have they got soto betawi?
Who knows?
Perhaps we can get some soto betawi. Some Batavia soup with beef. They've got soto chicken. I saw lots of good food on the way here. Now it's lunchtime. That's nice. Coming at the end of preparing my soto betawi. Oh no, soto ayam.
Soto ayam. Soto ayam lubang dia.
A little bit too late. Should have videoed. Some onions and the rice. Oh. Papa has put garlic in there, there's spices, there's turmeric, oh there's all sorts of, look at all that,
Yeah.
onions.
Ini rempah-rempahnya. Soto ayam.
All the stock of the chicken.
Yang nggak banyak.
Wow. Bagus lah.
Bagus.
Perfect.
Oke.
Terima kasih.
I have gado-gado. This Jakarta food actually.
Nice gado-gado, yeah? This is cold, isn't it? We've got some soto ayam.
Minumnya apa? Es teh manis ada ya?
Vegetables.
If you wanna drink what? They have tea, iced tea.
A peanut sauce. Gado-gado, a little bit spicy. Iced tea? Yeah, iced tea. Yeah.
But manis?
Yeah, a little bit manis, yeah.
Dua, tapi dia nggak terlalu manis.
Delicious too.
Enak?
Delicious. Enak. Enak.
Enak Pak katanya Pak.
The cooks just said, give the soup a, oh yeah, mix it all up with the noodles and everything. Oh yeah. Mix it all up. Cabbage, chicken, noodles. Mix it all together. Scrumptious.
Oh, sudah lama tinggal di Inggris dan sangat nambah.
That's good.
Enggak, aku aja udah lupa. Enggak. Masih enak deh. Masih enak. Not like in London we eat.
No,
No.
nothing like it.
And also gado you have to eat when the hot like
In
here.
the hot weather, yeah.
When the cold that is because very cold.
Yeah, we had it in London in the cold weather.
Already.
The noodles delicious, babe.
Delicious.
Mm.
Yum.
Rice noodles, I believe. Rice noodles.
Yeah, that's good. Apa?
Jam 5 ya.
Memang.
Ya tergantung di sini mah pengunjung. Kadang-kadang kalau dari daerah berangkat pagi tuh bis-bis ini sampai
Oh, banyak bus. Oke.
kan anak-anak sekolah.
Hmm.
Kadang-kadang ya habis maghrib baru tutup. Di sini udah jam 6.
Bagus dong.
Iya, kalau lagi rame-rame kalau lagi sepi ya.
Oh.
You get
past loads of
people here.
Yeah. So of people coming with the bus like that, the
Yeah.
student.
Yeah. Oh, that's good trade.
Gitulah makannya. Kalau kita kan nasi terus disiram. Kalau dia nasinya ambil di sini.
Iya.
Makannya with garpu, pakai
Iya.
garpu. Bukan sendok.
But the way I'm eating my rice and soup together. Maybe I'm doing it wrong.
No wrong. It's
All
okay.
right, it's okay.
Ah.
Eat it how you want. I love it with the crackers.
Mm.
Lovely.
Sama kayak teri Medan dulu masaknya.
Enak.
Saya sama teri Medan.
Di Medan.
Iya. Direbus dulu, udah matang baru digoseng.
Direbus terus diperas.
Ya,
It's the food of Medan.
terus ditambahin
No,
gitu.
that is papaya leaf.
Oh,
You
papaya.
wanna cooking?
Papaya leaf cooking.
Cooking with the dry fish, the small.
Oh,
Like sometimes I have.
ikan Medan ya.
They call teri Medan.
Oh.
Dan makannya rame-rame. Nah,
Sama nasi panas.
iya, enak.
Aku malah nggak makan nasi tuh. Di sana saya malah udah nggak begitu suka nasi sampai kadang-kadang.
Nice bit of spicy that. Gado, yeah. A little bit spicy. Very
No,
small.
I just want one chili. Look nice.
Bloody awesome.
Awesome.
In fairness, yeah. Bloody
Maybe I
awesome.
wanna have, yeah.
Hmm?
Maybe I wanna have.
Hmm? Please.
No, you eat. I can order.
Oh, you want a half?
Yeah,
What do you want a half?
but I kenyang.
Don't.
No, so
Leave it for a
kenyang.
couple of hours.
No, so kenyang, but
Yeah. Good reason to come and see the monument. A good reason is to come and have those ladies gado, and this gentleman's chicken soup, noodles, rice, corn crackers, Yeah, some iced tea. Good reason to come and visit.
Sama yang
I think there's a chili in there. I don't want to eat. I think.
Bu, sudah? Pepe?
Hah? Bayar.
Enak gado-gadonya, Bu. Iya.
jauh ya.
Jauh.
Negara Danau.
Ini lagi liburan.
Liburan.
Orang Indonesia represinya ke Indonesia. Lihat potong buaya.
Bapak yang Inggris ya.
Iya. Like I
Enak,
say,
Ibu, enak.
Indonesian people coming refreshing in Indonesian.
Di sana beda suasananya sama sini.
Beda banget, sekarang lagi salju.
Oh, lagi
Kasih.
salju. Dingin banget.
She's
Yeah.
missing the snow in England at the moment.
Kita punya berapa, Pak?
Ya,
Ya,
Berapa?
sotonya 2.
itu dua.
Katanya
ST 2. 2.7.
Oh, about £2.
2.7.
£2.70 for 2 iced teas,
Makanan Indonesia murah banget.
2 bowls of soup.
Duit Inggris cuma 2,5.
Oh, I think the best thing that made that soup tasty was all those chicken juices
Hah?
in the bottom.
Jadi 50 juta.
Made it
Pound.
banget enak.
Enak.
Ya.
Hampir 19
Mantul.
ribu 1 pound.
And there we have the Lubang Praya crocodile pits of death. Some important history in this amazing country of Indonesia. Thank you if you watched, and keep your eyes peeled for more videos coming soon.